Hey there guys, I'm just sitting here looking at my computer monitor, reminiscing about all the games I've covered on the channel so far. But now is not a time to look at the past, it's time to look at the future, namely 2014, and what I'm planning to do in that year. I have decided on a certain theme for 2014, and that theme would be the best of PlayStation. I've done a couple of Sony exclusives, so first-party Sony titles in the past. We've done God of War, God of War 3, Chains of Olympus, Ghost of Sparta, Uncharted 1 and 2, Starhawk, Infamous 2, and Festival of Blood. And I think that's all of them, actually. So yeah, Sony still has plenty of kick-ass first-party games, and I plan on covering a whole bunch of them in the upcoming year. Starting with one that I have already announced, launching January 1st, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Because what better way to kick off the year of PlayStation than with a game that pretty much introduces you to all the characters that you're going to be seeing over the next year, more or less. So that game will be... Actually, that should be up in 3 days from now, actually. Might want to have to get started on that one then. So, you might have been guessing at what that means, but I will tell you that these 3 games will definitely be happening in 2014. And I think it's about damn time. I.e., that'd be Uncharted 3 will happen in 2014. God of War 3 Revisited will happen in 2014. But before that, God of War 2 in 2014. So, yeah, get hyped for those. Another game that I plan on bringing back in 2014 is one that has been featured on the channel before, alongside Infamous 2 and Dead Rising 2 Off the Record. But like those two, it was cancelled because I wanted to redo it in HD. Now that I have that possibility, and now that it's the only cancelled game that has not yet returned to the channel, why not? Remember Heavenly Sword? That is very likely to happen in 2014. Let's see, which game should I pick next? This one. Heavy Rain might happen in 2014, though, now that I'm thinking about it, this might actually be more suited for the live streams on Twitch. I'll probably do this one on Twitch, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Also, this is the Move Edition, because this was the only one they had in stores at the time. I'm really hoping I can still play this with the DualShock, because if not, then I'm boned, so if anyone knows that, then please let me know. Because I'd hate to have to spend money on a regular Heavy Rain edition. Because I already bought that one. Another series I plan on getting into in 2014 is the Killzone series. And no, Killzone 1 will not be among it because I've played that for half an hour and it was fucking terrible. Luckily, I've asked some people on GameFAQs, and people on GameFAQs I assume are knowledgeable about their shit. You can easily understand the story of Killzone 2 and 3 if you skip the first one, because apparently the first one has next to no story in it. So I figured, hey, that's gonna be good. And I haven't really done all that many FPS games on the channel. Let's look at my wallpaper here. I've done Time Splitter, so what an awesome game that was. But actually, I think that is the only FPS game I've ever done. So maybe some more FPS games are long overdue, and I guess the Killzone 1 games would be pretty good examples of that. Probably one of the best the genre has to offer. Other FPS games that might be a possibility is the Resistance Trilogy. Resistance Fall of Man, Resistance 2, and Resistance 3. Of course, starting with 1. I haven't actually played that yet, but so I don't know if it's the same as with Killzone, that the first one is horrible. But who knows? They are indeed likely titles for 2014. Maybe not 2 and 3 so much, but 1 definitely is. Jeez, how old is Resistance 1 by now anyway? Like, what? 6, 7 years. Oh yeah, of course, can't think about PlayStation without these two, Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter. I also have the Sly Cooper trilogy, but not a physical copy, that's on my PS3's hard drive. Also Twisted Metal, don't have a physical copy of that either, but that might also happen. Also, one thing I'm kinda curious about, Ratchet and Clank is 7+, and Jak and Daxter is 12+. I always thought Ratchet and Clank was the more mature of the two, with all these, all the innuendos in the titles, like Up Your Arsenal and Going Commando and all that stuff. So that's kinda curious. But yeah, you might not see, like, the sequels, but the first games are definitely a possibility. Also, I wouldn't say this one's very likely, but I guess you never know. Might happen. What else? We are kind of getting to the end of the pile now. We have The Last of Us. I wouldn't say this is the most likely game out there, but I might be covering it in 2014. Don't know yet. I'm really curious to see if it actually lives up to all the hype. And Lair. Not many people know of this game. I think it was one of the launch games for the PS3. And it was generally considered to be terrible at the time because you could only control it with the gimmicky 6-axis motion control stuff. However, there has been a patch that lets you play it with the DualShock. I don't know if that improves the game by much, but I assume that it can't get any worse because of it. So who knows, you might see dragons flying around. Because that's what the game's about, flying on dragons and fighting in big-ass battles or something. It's a cool concept, at least. We'll not be limiting ourselves to the PS3, though. There will likely also be Medieval Resurrection. I did not know about this series at all until I've played PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Definitely seems like an interesting franchise, though. So we might be getting into this one, if I can actually figure out the PSP recording. Which I haven't actually tried yet, even though I've owned the PSP and the cables for like a year and a half now. Guess I never got around to it. Also, I'm planning on doing a little hardware upgrade in the future with a new capture card that lets me capture through HDMI, which will make PlayStation 4 games an option, like Killzone Shadowfall, and the as-of-yet unreleased infamous Second Son. So yeah, I do have to make spend some money to make that happen, but it will likely happen, because come on, you have to progress with the future, alright? Have to keep up. However, if you're not that big a Sony fan, don't be concerned. I won't be limiting myself to just Sony games. There will also be other games on the side. I actually just finished ordering one of those custom Nintendo 3DSs that lets you record stuff. I have a DS that can do that, but not a 3DS yet. So I am planning on doing the 3DS version of Ben 10 Omniverse 2, because I've heard that version is vastly superior to the console versions. I've actually just seen some gameplay of that, and it actually looks like a pretty interesting 2D beat-em-up. So I'll definitely be covering that. Some other stuff I'm looking into are Star Fox Command on DS, Kirby Squeak Squad on DS, also Star Fox 64 3D on 3DS, and I believe that's about it covering the handheld stuff. I'm also looking into what may be one of the best movie games ever made, Peter Jackson's King Kong the Movie the Game. I've actually really liked that game. I've been playing it for like 8 years. Had it on PS2, recently bought the Xbox 360 version because, you know, high def and everything. So yeah, that's definitely going to be a pretty cool game, I guess. I just hope that's not going to get me copyright claims up the ass. But yeah, there's a quick preview of what's to come in 2014. Hope you're as excited as I am. It's going to be another good year, I'm guessing, if YouTube is not going to ruin it with any more stupid changes. But yeah, thank you for your time. That pile of games will be showing up in 2014. Most of them will, at least. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next year. Bye-bye.